1787. Congress calls for delegates from each state to work on the Articles of Confederation. Most states sent delegates, except for Rhode Island. The delegates realized, though, that the Articles would not work. They decided to scrap it and write a constitution. It was also decided that each state would receive one vote on these new matters. This pleased the small states, who were afraid they would not be represented. This conflict over representation wasn't contained to just the meeting. Smaller states wanted equal representation in the national government. Larger states wanted proportional representation to give them more power. This led to the Great Compromise of what's known as bicameral legislature. There are two legislative bodies, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Senate is equal representation. They both must work together. More conflicts would emerge, however. Slavery and taxation were also points of tension. Northern states wanted to tax imports to promote self-sufficiency, while southern states worried about profitability. The southern states also relied upon slavery for their economy, but the North did not want this. The Constitution became a compromise. The slave trade could continue until 1808, and Congress was restricted in its taxation abilities. To prevent abuse, 3 interdependent branches of government were created. These branches were all reliant on each other. By instituting this, no one branch could take over. Congress, the legislative branch, could make laws. The president in the executive branch could also refuse to sign these laws, known as a veto. However, Congress could overrule a veto with a 2/3 majority vote. And then, the judicial branch can declare a law unconstitutional if it violates the constitutional rights given to citizens. This is just one example of checks and balances in the U.S. government. Each branch also got its own powers. Congress could enforce taxes and introduce legislature. The president acts as commander-in-chief and can declare war and negotiate treaties. And finally, the Supreme Court of the legislative branch takes cases that ultimately decide how law is enforced down the road. The Constitution was signed by 11 states and circulated for ratification. It's still around today and is a central piece to our American lives.